This video is about Giorgio Perlasco, an Italian man who within a period of just 45 days single-handedly saved 5,200 Hungarian Jews from capture by the Germans by posing as a Spanish government official, and you've probably never heard of him, so let's get into it. Giorgio Perlasco was born on January 31st, 1910 in Como, Italy. His father had a law degree and was very prominent in the community. Giorgio grew up with many friends, including those of the Jewish faith, and took on an early interest in fascism, a word synonymous with the Axis powers of World War II. At the age of 25, Giorgio volunteered to fight in the Spanish Civil War in honor of the Italian government. After he returned in 1939, he began working for an Italian trade firm and was essentially given diplomatic rights by the Italian government. Soon after, Italy would enter World War II. Giorgio didn't get involved directly in the war. Instead, his job was basically to secure meat trade agreements for the Italian army. Through his work, Giorgio had the opportunity to travel to places like Turkey and much of Yugoslavia. While traveling, he saw firsthand the atrocities the German forces were committing against the Jews and found immense disgust in witnessing this, which would play a major role in his not-too-distant future. Giorgio's work eventually landed him in Budapest, Hungary in the early 1940s, which was a place he felt Jews had more freedom compared to where he'd been before, and a nation of which he assumed was similar to Italy. Giorgio hadn't been to Italy for a few years and at this point assumed that it was exactly the way it was when he left. He recalled everyone being very free there and by his standards, enjoyed a fruitful social life with many Italian Jews. However, in September of 1943, Giorgio went into hiding in Hungary. He wanted to avoid capture by the Italian government for siding with the Allies. Giorgio was eventually captured though and placed in an internment facility in Austria, but he was able to escape in October of 1943. Giorgio immediately went to the Spanish consulate Angel Sombri and asked for asylum in Spain, an opportunity that was reserved for anyone who fought in the Spanish Civil War. Giorgio's wishes were eventually granted and he was issued a passport under the name Jorge Perlasco, and this, my friends, is where Giorgio's heroic acts truly began. After witnessing the unforgivable treatment of Jews during his travels, Giorgio knew he had to do something to help. He eventually found out that the same consulate that saved his life was giving out letters of protection to Jews in Hungary and hiding as many as he could in houses of diplomats and local embassy buildings. Giorgio began helping him with this, but things would take a turn for the worse very soon. Hungary would soon fall under German rule. According to Giorgio, on March 18, 1944, the Hungarian head of state went to visit the German government but was jailed upon arrival. The Germans placed a puppet government in Hungary, which meant that it was now under German control. The German government soon found out that the Spanish consulate was aiding Hungarian Jews and began raiding Spanish diplomat houses and government buildings. Angel Sombri eventually fled the country, urging Giorgio to come with him, but Giorgio refused, later stating, quote, "I couldn't stand the sight of people being branded like animals. I couldn't stand seeing children being killed. I did what I had to do." Once the consulate left, Giorgio took matters into his own hands. Knowing he needed some form of authority to continue rescuing the Hungarian Jews, Giorgio forged a document that nominated him the new Spanish consulate. He even threatened the German government to back off from the raids or that Spain would attack as a result. Having been successful with this and many other threats, Giorgio was able to provide aid and rescue 5,200 Hungarian Jews from December 1st, 1944 to January 16th, 1945, a period of just 45 days. With that said, Giorgio returned to Italy after the war and started a family. He kept quiet about everything he had done, saying, "My wife didn't say outright that she didn't believe me, but I was sure she was not convinced." Giorgio's story would not come to light for another 40 years. Many Jewish families remember Giorgio, or Jorge as they refer to him, but had no idea who the man was or where he lived. So they placed an ad in the local Hungarian newspaper to find out who and where he was. Eventually, they found out it was Giorgio, and he received several awards. The awards include highest honor by the Hungarian Parliament in 1989, a statue of him placed in Budapest. He was also given honorary citizenship in Israel, and a tree was dedicated to him in Yad Vashem in Israel. He was also named Righteous Among the Nations, and he has had several books and movies made about him as well, mostly in Italy. Giorgio would later die of a heart attack on August 15th, 1992 at the age of 82. Giorgio Perlasco leaves behind a fascinating and captivating story of resilience and bravery. I hope you all have enjoyed this video and continue to learn about people like Giorgio in your everyday life as well. If you did enjoy the video, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. My name is TJ, and we'll see you in the next one.